It's a gale of defection rocking the People's Democratic Party in Edo State ahead of the 2024 governorship election. What does this portend for the party in the election proper? Only time will tell. And as is always the case in a penultimate year leading to an election, we see these things happening. I mean, over the years, it keep occurring like a recurring decimal. But some say what is going on right now in the PDP in Edo State, it's very, very unique. What makes it unique? Maybe our panelists in today's program will give us insight into all of that. The certificate forgery scandal is still ongoing with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Chicago State University has since released the document requested by the PDP presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who has vowed to continue until the court makes a final pronouncement on that issue. There's so much to talk about along those lines. On both sides of the divides, you're getting different interpretations of the outcome of the court judgment in Illinois, in the U.S., as it relates to the allegations of certificate forgery and the demand and request for the originals of the certificates to be released by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. All of these, if we have all the time, will form part of our discussions today on the program Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun, your host on the program. And to also alert all our governorship aspirants in the 2024 governorship election that we have a new program we've designed specially for you to advance your cause, to interface with the people, to educate the party members, at least for this time, on what is your mission, your vision, your pedigree, your perspectives on governance, on accountability, on transparency, on corruption, and all whatnot. That program comes up every Monday at 5:30 p.m. on all ITV platforms. Take advantage of it. You'll be glad for doing just that. Let's quickly welcome our panelists today on the program. Let me thank very especially Fares Okbari is a member of the PDP, at least for now. And always a delight to have you here, Fares. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
We also have with us on the show Idris Zachary. Idris is a member of the Labour Party and also a public affairs committee. But he said over time that he's not a member of any political party. Yes. So thank you for joining us on the program. But at the 2023 election, he had some level of affinity and disposition towards the Labour Party candidate. That seems to be the reason why some just concluded that you are a member of the Labour Party. Yes, welcome on board.
Thank you so much. It's always an absolute delight to share this platform with my dear brother Fares. And when you invite us to join our voices in this kind of conversation, I am not afraid to be called a member of Labour Party, but I have also been called a member of APC. Okay. So I accept it. I'm in the words of President Muhammadu Buhari, I belong to everybody. I belong to nobody. Thank you for having me. Thank you, guest.
Okay. Well, our studio line will be opened at the appropriate time, as always, so you can call and be part of the conversation, and that will be in the last quarter of today's program, Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio. Okay, let me begin with you, Idris. Our political process, particularly in a penultimate year, is always characterized with defection. Incidentally, I also saw earlier this week a member or a governorship aspirant in the Labour Party moving away with his supporters to join another political. So this is normal with our political process, or is it abnormal?
Well, it ought not to be normal, but in an evolving democracy like ours, it has become what you can confidently call a new norm. People are supposed to remain in one party, and people are supposed to be in a party for ideological basis. But there are two premises upon which people are leaving political parties these days. First of which is that when you have used your tongue, as they say in Africa, to count your teeth, and you have discovered that your ambition cannot manifest in the particular platform where you are at that material time, chances are, like you described with the gentleman who has left Labour to another party, chances are that you may want to leave and go elsewhere to pursue your ambition, which is totally within the ambit of the law. Similarly, there are also cases where those who used to be anti-godfathers have now in themselves metamorphosed into godfathers. And in a situation like the PDP, due respect to my dear brother here, where it is known, it is almost agreed upon that only the candidates that the governor support can win primary. There is precedence to this, and it's not just the PDP.
Okay.
There was a time in Edo State where in the APC, I supported them. It was the candidate of the APC governor then that eventually became the candidate of, it was the candidate that the APC governor then supported, so that I'm quoted rightly, that became the candidate of the party, which subsequently now metamorphosed into the PDP governor we have today.
Okay. That
it now seems will only be the person to, have whose candidate, whose preference will be the candidate of the party. So it is the African thing to want to become all domineering and all powerful, especially when we are in a position of authority. You see those who have dared to go out of line, you see the way they have been vigorously whipped back into line. The case of the deputy governor is very popular. The one is in public domain. It's well reported by your station here, whose offense, as it were, was that he did express the need or the interest to become governor. And as deputy governor, you see that he has since been relocated from the government house to a street in GRA. And when he resuming in his office, it's like he realized that even man cannot protect him. So he had to seek divine interference to protect him by bringing his preachers and his fathers to come and help him pray and sanctify the place. So just to say that there are two main reasons why people leave parties. First is when you know that you cannot make it in this party. You have checked, maybe among those who are aspiring, you are a featherweight. There are weights in boxing, the heavyweight, the featherweight, the lightweight. You have discovered that maybe you are a featherweight. So you go to a featherweight party where you can compete. And so instead of being a small fish in a big ocean, you rather be a big fish in a pond. Similarly, when you have discovered that in the party where you are, it is done deal. It is a done deal that only the godfather can produce the governorship candidate. I use this godfather very freely because it has been a recurring decimal in Edo State. The governor before this governor fought godfathers. This governor has fought godfathers. And the PDP now, at least the legacy PDP, are warming up to fight godfathers. So it tells you that this is a recurring decimal. So only the godfather can decide. So when you are in that kind of party, you quickly leave and go to where you can be more competitive. That is what has happened in the case of the PDP. I think where we have not really seen the cracks is in the APC. They have not been having a lot of people defecting from the APC, largely because the godfathers, they have learnt their lessons. And I want to believe that after this election, the godfathers in PDP will also learn their lessons.
Okay, let me come to you, Perez Okberi. It looks like right now the most topical discussion centers on the PDP, where we've seen more of these defections. Incidentally, the defectors, they've been staunch members of the party. Some may be even founding members of the party. Some are those who have held exalted positions in the party. They're moving in, numbers, which is really of a huge concern to many political watchers in Edo State. What would you say is responsible for this? I've heard people say that the rivalry or the cracks that came up, before the 2023 election and even post-2023 election is still the reason why these movements are taking place.
Yes, well, it's election season, and it's quite normal to see in political parties people will move from party A to party B or from party B to party A. It's normal with our political cycle in Nigeria, so it's not something that we've not seen before. It's not. It didn't start with the PDP. It didn't start with the APC. Even the Labour Party, the candidate of Labour Party in the last election moved from the PDP to the Labour Party. So it's normal to see people move to parties where they believe that they stand a chance to get the tickets. And before I proceed, please let me quickly correct something that my brother said just now. He said that the deputy governor's offense was because he tried to be ambitious, you know. And, there was no fight in the PDP with the governor and the deputy governor because the governor wants to contest an election. The deputy wants to contest. That's not correct. If you see the issues that the governor raised were very clear on how the deputy governor tried to hijack the House of Assembly, worked with the APC to try to, after having a series of meetings with the governor and they agreed on who would be speaker, went behind to do so many other things with the APC to try to hijack the process. Those were issues, and then he also went to court. So those are the issues, not necessarily because he wants to contest for governor. Everybody has a right to run for governor. And then, secondly, he said something about that anybody that the
incumbent governor anoints becomes the candidate of the party.
We've seen in Nigeria that it's not always true, that sometimes the governor can support somebody and the person does not emerge. It's a process, a democratic process, and we understand it that the governors are powerful, the governors have the financial resources, and you know our politics is money driven. You understand the game that it's money that calls the shots. And most times you have a sitting governor who have access to unlimited funds. You know, sometimes it might be personal, sometimes, you know, it can rally people around the country to support whoever is supporting. And these people might be powerful people who will bring out money to support who the governor is supporting because they believe that the governor can deliver that particular person. So they want to take side with the governor. So that aside, I just want to correct those details. Okay. Going back to the defections in the PDP, it's not a new thing. We've seen defections before across all political parties in Nigeria before. It has been there since we started our democracy. I'm not sure it will stop, because the reason is because our politics is not ideologically driven right now. We are not driven by ideologies in political parties. If you go to the West, if you are a member of the Labour Party in the UK, for example, you know that your ideas are Labour driven. If you are a member of the Conservative, you know that your ideas are largely conservative. You see the PM, the Prime Minister of the UK recently, you see where he came out to discuss that a man is a man, a woman is a woman, you know, and it should be so in schools. Those are ideas that are driven, political ideas that are driven from their political parties. Okay. He's a conservative clearly. Yes. So when you come here, we have no clear-cut ideological drive in our politics. It's either you are in politics to help your people, or you're in politics as they call it. Okay. You are there because of your people, and you are there because of your people. But there's no ideology on, you say the PDP is for this, or the APC is for that, or the Labour Party is for this. There's no clear-cut ideological difference. That's why it's easy for somebody to move from the PDP to the APC, because there's no ideological difference. So you're not going to say, okay, I'm in PDP or I'm in APC and I have this political ideology. I move to the APC tomorrow and the ideology is different. I have to now blend. But what you see with the APC, and most other parties is just people who are there for political survival. So it's either today you are here.
So you're saying that those who are leaving the PDP, for example,
yes,
they are disgruntled people?
Well, I cannot say all of them are disgruntled. You know, somebody who feels like he stands no chance to become, maybe he wants to run for governor, for example, and he sees that he stands no chance. There's no point remaining in a party where you feel like your chances are limited. So you might want to go to another party to try your luck. Let's look at Riceman, for example. Riceman has gone to the Labour Party because he feels like in the Labour Party he stands a better chance to become the gubernatorial candidate from the Labour Party. Okay. It's more difficult for him in the PDP because looking at the caliber of people in the PDP who are also interested, he feels like it's more difficult for him. So that's normal for him to leave. Nobody will fault him for pursuing his ambition anywhere you want to pursue it. And secondly, we said it before, governors are party members also. The fact you are a governor of a party doesn't mean that you are no longer a member of the party. You are a party member. You have a right, just like Fares has a right, to support anybody within the party that he wants to support to be governor. So the governor has a right also to support who he wants to support. We've seen several times where governors will support the candidate, and the candidate will not ever want to fall. And even one of us, so we've seen it before. It's not something new. The PDP, as we speak right now in Edo, might be going through one or two issues, but the party still remains largely a strong party. It's still the party to beat in Edo. It's still strong, and I believe that if the right things are done between now and the election, the PDP will still carry the day in Edo State.
Okay, let's get back to you quickly. Talk to us about the concerns that has been expressed about the process of emergence of party candidates as being largely responsible for these seeming defections that we always see in political parties, not just within the PDP alone.
My dear brother is a realist, although he's trying to play PR for his political party today. The bitter truth is that when you have a big elephant in the room, what is happening in PDP now will happen. And more will happen as we approach the elections. Talking about a rice man leaving to the Labour Party because the kind of people who were in PDP were maybe of some sort of quality. There's no candidate in PDP as at this material time, apart from the governor's candidate. The only person who dared to want to even run, who dared publicly say he wants to consult to be governor, which is deputy governor, he is since regretting his actions. Because he was shipped out of the government house on the orders of the governor. It's public knowledge. These things were on TV. And saying that, he wanted to hijack the state assembly. I mean, I watched the governor on television. His stated quarrel was that primarily he told the deputy governor, please don't consult, let us focus on governance.
Let's finish well.
Let's finish well. And knowing that he himself is not running again, so he can choose to finish well. But the gentleman has an ambition. You say he should finish well with you and leave his ambition.
So at what time will he now start it?
When will he now start it? When you are finished. Then secondly, he stated quarrel again. Number 2 quarrel was that the gentleman, the deputy governor, went to court. How can it be a bad thing that a man went to court to ask for protection? Mr. Sonny Duke, if me and my wife were quarreling regularly, and my wife goes to court to say, please, protect me from this man, he's always beating me. How can that be that my wife is wrong? Seeking protection from the court against a big man who is oppressing you. I mean, this is, look, let's call it what it is. And eventually, I'm afraid that my dear friend Fares, who is like the red blood cell of PDP, they have been in PDP from time immemorial. They are like the cream de la cream of the PDP, who take oxygen to the cells, to the tissues of PDP. Very soon, the man that APC loaned to them may soon displace them if they are not careful. That's why he used that word, if the right things are done. And that is a very big if, capital letter I and F. Let me tell you, our people don't like democracy. By nature, because the African mind, we were a monarchical arrangement before the British brought democracy. So we still like to have one big man who is in charge. And we still worship our leaders. And that is what I am encouraging our youth to break free from. These leaders have flesh and blood. If you have sat in close quarters with them, you will even know that they are not even as smart as you are. They are just privileged to be in that position and you are not there yet. So do not give them this excess reverence. So I have watched on social media a gentleman, 40-year-old man, advocating that only the person that the governor pronounced is the person that can be governor in this state. How can it be that as a young person, 20, 25, 30, of voting age, 18 and above, you are waiting for one big man to pronounce before you can pick a governorship candidate? That's why some of us, even before primaries, we have said this is where we want to be. If we were winning, let us win together. If we are losing, let us lose together. Like he advocated, our politics must now become ideologically driven. If you are not passionate about anything, it means that you are not commercial. Anything that comes to you, you take. So, in going forward, especially governors who are leaving, let them not try to metamorphose into godfathers. Let them not try to metamorphose into godfathers. You are leaving, you want to bring the next person that will succeed you. And again, let me even ask, what is the guarantee that the person you bring will be loyal to you? Are our governors not learning from precedents? All those who have produced governors in the past, how loyal was the governor to them? The present governor, Adam Oshomole brought him as governor. How loyal? What was the issue? Was it not a Fuji house of commotion? And then you now, instead of you to learn, now look at what I did to my oga. Chances are that if I bring my follower might also replicate it to me. Because what the scripture said, scriptures made it abundantly clear. As a man soweth, so will he reap. There is no opportunity that you can sow oranges and reap apples unless you want to steal. So if you have decided that you are not stealing, why not give up the idea that you must produce your successor? Why not create a level playing field? Let people go. If there is anything I respect President Muhammadu Buhari for, among all his failings, is that on the day they did their primaries in Edo State of presidential candidate, this is how he put his hand on his jaw and he was looking. Yes, his candidate, perceived candidate, lost. He was looking. He went home, took his bed, came back, and he was losing. His candidate was losing. Some of us will say, oh, he was not a good president, could not produce his successor. We knew that Asiwaju was not his preferred successor. But Asiwaju galvanized the party and won. The governors should do the same. Be an unbiased umpire. How come why is it that how come that whatever is put in the hands of the governors, they try to control? Local government will put in the hands of the governors. Local government are nearly non-existent. Nearly non-existent. Local government elections we put in the hands of the governor. I sat down here 2 weeks to the last local government election and I predicted, if I was a prophet, maybe by now my church would be very full. I predicted that result is going to be homogeneous. There will be no opposition that will win councillorship in this state. And as God will have it, we even had councillorship candidates having 1 million votes in a state that had 1.6 million votes. A councillor in one of the 192 wards had 1 million votes over his opponent. This is the miracles our governors are performing. We must caution these gentlemen. Okay. Power is transient. It's not forever. When did Obaseki become governor here? In another 12 months, it will be gone and gone forever. You can never be governor again. This is how transient this thing is. So when you are there, show people respect. Show people love. Treat people with respect. Treat people with dignity, even when you don't agree with them. I give you one last point. In the Oshomole era, Dr. Pius Igberami Odubu, the deputy governor, wanted to be governor. And then Adams Oshomole did not, I state it categorically, did not throw him out of government house. Even members of Oshomole's cabinet were divided in.
But that dream did not materialize. The dream of becoming or even contesting that election.
He did contest. He contested primary.
But he lost.
He came second.
He lost. Now, to who? The governor's candidate.
To the preferred governor's candidate. Okay. But let me anchor my point. Okay. Oshomole did not throw him out of government house and relocate him to one
place. Go to court?
No, I'm coming. I relocate him to one junction to go and be operating from there as a deputy governor. He did not throw him out. Now, even Oshomole's cabinet was divided in the middle, half supporting Odubu, half supporting Oshomole's candidate. At the end of the day, the governor used his power, used his influence to support, underline the word support, not intimidate his deputy, but support his candidate. And that is what I expect this governor to do. Support your candidate without intimidating.
Is that what's responsible for this defection?
Yes. Onolememe has left. Rice Man has left. I am telling you, if not that, I am sure, if not that maybe the deputy is thinking of what people will say. Having been relocated from the government house like an ordinary, even an SSA cannot be relocated like that. Okay. Keep in mind, the SSG is still in government house. The chief of staff is still in government house. The secretary to the state government is still in government house. The head of service is still in government house. All the functionaries of government are still inside government house. But a deputy governor who is a co-head, the same umbilical cord ties the governor and deputy. A Siamese to the deputy governor is as good as the governor. And it's not the deputy governor to Governor Obaseki. It's the deputy governor of Edo State was thrown out. And we found out I am not a lover of the deputy governor. But the man in you dies when you see the truth and you refuse to speak it. And that is what I have said now. Okay. Let's have respect for our for our people.
All right. What is the justification for this narrative that what is happening in the PDP, for example, now, with some of these defections that we have seen, is a fallout of what has been there, particularly the fact that the governor has come out to say, this is the person that I want to support for Edo 2024.
The governor has not come out to say he wants to support anybody for Edo 2024.
But we know. We know. Let's not say it
here. Maybe you know, but as far as I know, the governor has not come out to say I'm supporting this person or that person. You know, everybody has a fair chance to vie for the PDP ticket. It's open to everybody. As far as you're a member of the party, as far as you follow the constitutional process that the party has laid down to elect who become the party's flag bearer.
Okay.
It's always normal to see this kind of movements within a party that is strong. You will not see this kind of movement with parties that are weak, that are not strong. It's normal. We have more than 30 political parties in Edo State. And I'm sure you know that it's only parties that are strong that you see people fighting like this to get the tickets. You know, and it's very, very strange that my brother here will try to, you know, change the facts of the issues around the, I'm sorry, I have to digress a little bit, around the deputy governors. Because, first of all, there's no law that says that deputy governor and the governor should work from the same office. There's no, so if the deputy governor's office is located in a different place, the governor has not broken any law. Nigeria is a country of law and not sentiments. No matter the kind of sentiments that we have, what is important is that, am I breaking the law? Am I doing something against the law? Am I doing something that the law does not support? That is what you should look at. It's not if your sentiments about the deputy governor or if the SSG is in the government house or the chief of staff in the government house. It doesn't matter. What matters is that there's no way in the laws that say the governor and the deputy governor must work from the same office. There's no law. If there is, it should show me. That's it. And secondly, if you see, the governor explained very clearly that, even though Shomole explained the same thing, that the deputy governor is from the same place with him. That he will not even advise that, you know, because there are 18 local governments in the state, that somebody who is from, so he was governor for 8 years, fortunate to be governor for 8 years, then he left, then the same local government produced a deputy governor, and then just immediately after the tenure of that local, deputy governor, the same ward, you're still going to be talking about governors for that same place. Oshomola said, this is Oshomola saying that, not even Governor Baseki. So it shows that the sentiments, however it is, that a lot of people feel like it's the turn of the Edo Central people to produce a governor. You can't take that away. The sentiment is there. The sentiment is there. But does that mean that every other person from Edo South or Edo North or any other place cannot contest for a governor? No. And the governor has not said that. So let's be very careful when we try to state the issues surrounding the deputy governor. Now, going back to the defections. Defections are normal. You have, he made mention of godfathers. There are no parties today that you don't have godfathers. In the Labour Party today, there are so many court cases around people whose candidature was changed. They got the ticket, but from nowhere, the godfathers in the party removed their names. They are in court. He knows about it. Even many in Edo, they are in court today over their names. Their names were changed. So there's no political party that is a saint in Nigeria today. What we as young people should be advocating is a change of process. A change that gives power to younger people who have the ideas, who have the vision to drive change. That is what it should be more important to us as young people. And then if you look at the way our political parties are structured, we will continue to have defections. In the next 100 years, people will still be talking about defections in Nigerian politics because we've not been able to draw out clear-cut ideologies. Look at the party constitution, the PDP constitution and the APC constitution. Look at it, there's practically no difference. Just take it, study the PDP constitution, study the APC constitution, you see that there are practically no difference. So party A just carry party B's constitution and just change the name and print it and submit it as its own constitution. So there's no way in the constitution where it says that this is our ideology. We are driven towards this ideology, or we are driven towards this ideology. Like you have in the Midwestern region before. You had in the past, you had parties who will say, okay, our ideology is free education. When we're in government, what we want to do is provide free education. Yeah. And they did it, and it worked. It worked. A lot of people, even the governor today, benefited from the free education system back then. Okay. So there were a whole lot of people who, at that era, benefited from free education. free transport, free education, so many amenities that they got because of the political parties that were ruling at that time. You had other regions where theirs was more capitalist driven. You had others where they are more socially driven. So, but right now, we just have two dominant political parties that are very similar in I wouldn't even call it ideology, but they are similar in the way of operations. And it's going to remain so until we as young people will sit down. So, okay, let's look at our parties and let's look at how we are going to redefine our political process, redefine our political parties, and see how we can drive a new kind of ideology that will bring development to our people. And that has to start from us as young people. And that's the truth.
Okay. If you just join us, you're on to Politics Today on independent television and radio. Our focus for now is on the Edo 2024 governorship election, with the challenge overhang of defections in some political parties ahead of the elections. Reasons have been advanced for this, but I think chief amongst the reasons is that people are looking for platforms where they feel there will be equity, there will be fairness, there will be accountability, there will be a transparent process through which they will emerge as the governorship candidate of a political party. But there are concerns that the defections from the PDPs or the defections to the APC, as it is today, is this feeling of the federal might that is always there in our political process. You find strange bedfellows now forgetting their differences and then just romancing one another politically, because at this point in time we're looking at maybe a common interest and a common enemy, and we're looking at behind us that backbone that we all need to be able to actualize our dreams and aspirations, because many politicians in Nigeria don't really have any means of livelihood. So they probably want to look out for every opportunity to stay relevant, because whether you like it or not, even all of those who have conglomerated in the APC now, it's possible that whoever those are currently running the party affairs, they may have their biases and whatever, which definitely manifest ultimately.
Anyone in Edo, underlined, anyone in Edo relying on federal might is living in a fool's paradise.
Why do you say that?
Because I used to like to go back as a statistician. The only way to judge the future is to look at the past. The only way to predict the future is to look at the past. When was the last time Edo was in a ruling federal party? I mean, I cannot remember since the time of Adams Oshiomhole. Adams Oshiomhole was in the AC. Jonathan was in PDP. When he left, we had a brief stint where Governor Godwin Obaseki was in APC, Buhari was APC. But shortly, he defected to defected.
Or he was driven away from APC.
Well, as the case may be.
He was driven away from APC and he went to PDP.
Like I said, the big men, godfathers. I know I've been emphasizing.
Godfathers drove him away from APC.
Just like he's now metamorphosing to become now. Yes.
So stay on course, said.
He drove his deputy out of government house.
No, he was relocated. Like he said, there was no constitution. There's no part of the constitution that expressly stated where all of these people will stay.
I will come back to that part of the constitution.
Okay.
There is no constitution that says you cannot cheat on your wife. But cheat on your wife, let's see how well you will be okay. There's no constitution. There are things that are normal. Since the time of Egbemudia, since the time of what's the name of our government house road? Denis Osadebe, governor. There is no way in this country where governor, deputy governor are not working from the same environment. That's why it's called government, and there's a reason for it. Security for government house is one protocol. It's one security protocol. When you now remove the deputy governor, you are trying to create an alternate government house in the same state.
Okay.
There's only one seat of power.
Let's try.
So when you drive the governor, the deputy governor out of the seat of power,
relocated.
He had in that to tell the court that protect me from this man, might impeach me. Have you not politically impeached the man?
Okay, Idris. Stay on course. The question that I asked here.
The question you asked.
Yes, about federal might.
Federal might.
Yes, possibility.
Like I said, any politician relying on federal might to get result in Edo is living in a fool's paradise. It won't work. I am not saying APC cannot win election. I am saying if you are in APC, you must talk to Edo people based on your credentials or your personality. Not because you think one person will bring police. We are undefeated in this state. Oh. The young people in this state, we are undefeated. And if we follow you, even when we think you are wrong, even when you are wrong, so far Edo people have followed you, we win. In 2020, I was in opposition to the present governor. He is aware. We are in different camps. But I have said it here before, and I'm saying it again, that the governor won. Because he told us then that he was fighting godfatherism. And Edo people keyed into that agenda. People were swimming erosion in Adolo Junction to go to Adolo Secondary School to vote for him. And I was like, are we normal? This is the man that is supposed to cure this erosion. You swim the erosion to vote him. They say yes, because he is fighting godfathers. Today, those tendencies that he fought, he is now manifesting. And you think we should not be worried? So anybody who is defecting for this thing, it's better you go to one small political party and start building. We will listen to you more than to think you will bring police and army to come and win election here. Police and army don't win election here. It's human being that vote here. Since 2007 to today, it's only popular candidate that win in Edo state or federal elections. In the last presidential election, Labour Party won here resoundingly. APC, those of us in Labour Party, we gave APC Edo North and Edo Central to manage. We held Edo South down. He's aware. PDP were nowhere to be found. And the governor is a PDP governor. So when we now felt that if his party loses in the state assembly, they might try to impeach him, godfathers will come back. We allowed him win state election. But since then, he has not shown that he even regards those of us who kept quiet to allow him have that free reign.
Are you wanting some sort of settlement or something?
No, there was no settlement. We are saying give people respect. Now we are coming to 2020. You want to force a candidate. He was talking
2024.
2024. He was talking about Edo Central now. Let's talk a little bit about Edo Central. It is public knowledge that I support a candidate from Edo Central. I can't mention it so that you won't charge me for commercial. I support a candidate from Edo Central. Does that mean that I will open my eyes and see the kind of cruelty that they are doing to the deputy governor and I will keep quiet? Tomorrow it can be Sonny Duko. I'll keep quiet and say no, let him suffer. They say somebody is destroying everybody. There is destroy your neighbor. You say let them destroy your neighbor because your neighbor does not greet you. After your neighbor's house, whose house is next?
You probably will be the next. You are
the next.
You probably will be the next. Idris, let me pause you there. I want to pause you here now. Fares, talk to me about your perspectives on this talk about federal might probably going to be a major factor in 2024. That seems to be the reason this seeming love for APC all of a sudden.
No, there's no seeming love for APC. If you look at those who crossed from the PDP to the APC in Edo Central, it's all about political calculation. They feel like there are no strong people in the APC from Edo Central. So somebody who is strong enough in the PDP had to go there to contest it from that zone. It's not about love for the APC. We all know that the APC as a political party in Nigeria, you know the attendance of the APC. He knows. He was a member of the APC. He championed the Buhari cause. They all supported,
many years ago, yes,
sang Buhari to the high heavens and plunged the country into mass poverty that we are all facing today. He knows. So everybody knows the history of the APC since they came into power. So anybody going to the APC thinking that because the APC is currently in Abuja would make it easy for him in Edo, that's far from the truth. Let's go back to history. In 2012, when General Charles Arabere contested against Adams Oshomole, Adams Oshomole was in the ACN, General Charles was in the PDP. The PDP was in the federal seat of power. And I remember in that particular election when Jonathan announced, or the IG then announced, that 40,000 police officers will be deployed to Edo to man the elections. I remember the hue and cry of the people, they want to rig the election, they want to do this. But at the end of the day, the election was one of the freest and fairest elections you can talk of. Not only did Adams Oshomole win, he won in all 18 local governments. The first time in the history of Edo State that you see that kind of victory. Even won in General Charles Arabere's ward. That's to tell you how popular Adams Shomole was. And if you're a popular candidate...
And we have seen that repeated, sir.
Yes.
Governors losing their awards in such major elections.
We saw it again in 2020 when Governor Obaseki contested that election. Edo people came out and voted for him massively.
I could not win it in the
So, you can't always have it every time. I'm saying that what Adams Shomole did in 2012 is not something that you will see
every time. Every now and then, yeah.
But what am I saying is that if you are going to rely on the federal government to use federal minds, as you call it, what is federal minds? It's rigging of elections. Then you might just be living in the fool's paradise, like my brother said, because Edo people we are kind of like Republicans. You know, you can really not tell which political direction the Edo people will go to. So we are a swing states. Mm-hmm. We are not like the Lagos or the Delta where you say this party is going to win. You know, before elections, you can tell that PDP will win in Delta states or PDP will win in River states. It's very easy to predict for them. For example, also in Lagos, you can say, oh, the APC will win. You can easily predict it until the last elections, but it's very easy to say, okay, the APC, because you see the party structure, the party, or the way the party is organized at the state level, and you feel like it's a done deal. But Edo is largely a swing state, where you can have this party today and have the other party tomorrow. And it's largely because of the Republican nature of us as Edo people. So for anybody to depend on the federal government, the person is wasting his time. If you want to sell yourself to Edo people, come out and sell yourself to Edo people and tell the people why they should support your ambition, why they should vote for you, what you can do to improve the lives of Edo people. I can tell you for free that in Edo State, we have challenges, just like every other state, like in Nigeria, you know. So there are so many things that you can come out to tell the people that will make them to support you. We have a huge infrastructural deficit, not only in Edo State, but in Nigeria. Huge. Even if in Nigeria today we have to spend $100 billion every year on infrastructure, we will still need maybe 30 years for us to meet up with some countries that are not even fully developed. Even if we spend $100 billion every year, I'm saying they spend this money on infrastructure, it will still take us at least 30 years to catch up with some countries. Just some countries, not those ones that are even fully developed, not the Chinas or the Americans. I'm talking about countries that are just semi-developed. So it tells you the level of infrastructural deficit that we are currently facing in Nigeria. Okay. And it boils down also to the states and the local level, the local governments as well. So anybody who is going to run for governor should be able to look at the issues, the local issues that we are facing here. The local issues, the issues that people hold dearly to them. Okay. And say, okay, look at how I'm going to fix these issues. Look at how I'm going to make governance more closer to you. Look at how I'm going to impact the life of people. And then people might be swayed by your message. Okay. But to think that you will be sitting and on Tinubu will do the magic, I don't think that will happen.
Okay. Well, if Tinubu, who is the president, can't do the magic, it also means that at the governorship level, we have to be a little bit circumspect in our decisions to making the process very open, transparent, so that everyone can have that sense of belonging, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay, it's Say Politics today on independent television and radio. We'll open our studio line so you can call and be part of the discussion. Please be as brief as possible because others are waiting on the line, and do not cast aspersion on anyone, and be as objective as can be, just for us to have a very, very meaningful conversation on politics today on independent television and radio. We have, something that has been on the front burner in the last couple of days, the court decision by a court in U.S. as it relates to the certificates of the president. Well, so many questions have arisen since that judgment came to the fore. And yes, from what's available, from what the court said, he attended that school, but questions are surrounding that in terms of certificate, in terms of whether it was a male or it was a female who attended the school, and all of that. Guys, let me get your perspective on this as we begin to call it a wrap. Yes, Idris.
I want to logic. How did they call them for logic again? But let me explain something using the logic they taught us in 100 level in Uniben. If the authority that is supposed to award a document come out to deny that document, and you claim to have a document from that authority, what it means is that the document in your hand is fake. I mean, this is the crux of the matter. All other discussion about vendor, about whether I went to school or not, is immaterial. The school have accepted that yes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to our school. However, the certificate that you brought, that is the certified true copy of the certificate you brought that you say is submitted to INEC, did not emanate from us, which means that that certificate was forged. We have a situation in our hand. It seems, for media correctness, it seems that our president may have a forged certificate. And as heartbreaking as that is, I think it is time for the president to come out and clear the air. The president said at Chatham House, just before the election, that he was happy to announce to Nigerians, the video is out there, that Chicago State University have sent him a copy of his original certificate that he lost prior. Now Chicago State University, under oath, have said that certificate with you is not from us. However, we do reckon that there was an Ahmed Bola Tinubu that went to our school. Whether it's a male or female, that one is a discussion
for another day.
So this kind of conversation requires coming out to clarify the air, because it is rubbing off on us ordinary Nigerians. Mr. Sunday Duke, just take your passport to any foreign office now and say they should give you visa. Even if they manage to give you, by the time you get to their country, they will frisk you like you were Osama bin Laden. In fact, when they see the way they are frisking you because you are a Nigerian, Osama bin Laden will be proud. So that is why leaders need to come out. That is why the office of the land, the highest office of the land, should be retained for the most morally upright, although it has not been like that over time. Then that brings me to what my dear brother was saying again about law and whether the governor was breaking the law, whether anybody was breaking the law. You don't need to break the law. According to the Nigerian law, the minimum requirement for you to contest a federal election is to show that you went to primary school. They did not say you must have primary school certificate. They say you must be able to prove. INEC should be convinced that you went to primary school. Meaning I can go and call one old man in my village who was an headmaster. And I say, come and tell INEC that I went to your primary school. And I will be qualified.
All right, good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you calling from. Good morning.
Yes, my name is Friday. I'm calling from Sloke Road.
Friday, please go ahead.
Yes, I want to say this. There's a young man in another state that had a change of results called Mosama. Everybody shouted for him. You see what the judge in America said. Nigeria is known of forgery. To start with our president, number one. It's a shameful thing. You see, Boris Johnson was caught breaking the laws of COVID-19. That's what he resigned. I want the president to look at.
Okay, thank you, caller, for your contribution. Faraz, let's we can get a take on this as we entertain more calls.
Well, I will throw the line of that caller, that last caller.
Yes.
It was actually going to
somewhere. It was not somewhere.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
And you see, we've seen it several times that when leaders, people who are supposed to lead by example, are now lawbreakers. It's embarrassing. Nigeria. The issue of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's certificate is an embarrassment to Nigeria and an embarrassment to the whole country. And the only reasonable thing for the president to do is to step aside. There's nothing else.
But we need to hear from him. I mean, let's be clear here, like
he has said.
Yes.
What is he going to say? Is he going to say that the school lied?
No, let's hear him say. Let's hear him say something. Let us speak to Nigeria. Even if he decides to do
he has been caught in a lie. He has been caught in a lie.
Yeah,
he said that the school gave him the certificate.
Yes.
There are people who went to Uniben.
Okay, let me take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sir brother.
Yes, good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you call. Go ahead.
I feel that our position has always constantly got crack of political ideology. It is very, very bad. I feel that our money opposition don't even know the health and objective of their political party before going to any political position.
Okay.
It's very, very bad. You cannot hear this kind of thing in the Western world like America or Britain because their position are more focused on what they are going there to do for their people.
Okay.
Not for their saving trade.
Okay.
And for the people that get Gaga, it is an embarrassment to Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, caller, for your contribution. Yes.
So like I'm saying,
yes.
you see, so you know the only thing that the president should do right now is to step aside. He's not going to say that the school lied. The school was summoned on oath, and they said that the certificate that President Bola Ahmed presented is not from there. But
they didn't deny the fact that a certain Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to that school.
But that certificate, that certificate is not their property.
Yes.
So if, let's say...
No, now let me just take you on this point. Yes. The Nigerian Constitution does not say you must provide a degree.
Yes.
It does not say, it didn't say you must provide a degree.
Yes.
But provide, even up to primary 6, provided
It did not say provide it. It said prove that you went to
primary 6. So that's it. Yes. If that is what the Constitution of Nigeria says, what's the whole abalu about certificate here?
What the whole abalu is that when you as a president, when you submit a forged document, that's a criminal offense in Nigeria.
Okay.
That's a criminal offense, and for that criminal offense, you have to step aside.
Okay, let me take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Wonderful.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
You know about this certificate forgery. We all know what happened in Edo State when they asked some people to bring their primary school certificate, and the following week, Ministry of Education got sponsored. The thing is that for president is for him to step aside and apologize to Nigeria for bringing this embarrassment and shame to Nigeria. That's just my own.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes.
So there are people who, for example, let me just anchor on this point. People who went to Unibe, for example, he knows. In my class, for example, I had people who started with me, and over time they left. Some of them jackpot, like you say it, and all that. But there's a history of that person in that school. Everybody knows that this person, at a point, is a student of this school. But maybe before you get to your final year, you left the school or you abandoned your... And when it's time to now say you want to contest an election, you go and forge university certificate and submit it. And so, because people know you, that you went to that school, you were popular in the school, everybody knows that everybody knew you in this department. You now come and say, oh, I was a student of this school and I graduated from this school. That's a criminal offense. That is exactly what the president has done.
Let's get... Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Go ahead, please.
The way Obasanjo intimidated deputy governor is very bad. Taking the deputy governor to other place, that is very sincere. And if you want to look into this voting matter, some person vote Obasanjo because of the deputy governor. He does not have any right, even it's not stipulated in the law, does not have any right to take the deputy governor to different places. Just as we vote for Obasanjo, that is how we voted for Shaibu. And that of the president, my brother, if it is a advanced country, the president will step aside and all the better thing will resign.
Okay, that's the much we have on the phone segment of the program, and it brings us to the end of this week's edition of the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Fares, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Idris, many thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, on the road to Edo 2024, we will continue to bring you up to speed with all the events, the personalities, and all the happenings on that road till we get to the final day when the election would take place. So good, INEC has already given us a timeline for all of the activities that will herald the election proper. But we're appealing to all those concerned, all our political leaders, irrespective of political divide, to look towards Edo Central Senatorial District to allow equity, fairness to play in the scheme of things as far as governance in Edo State is concerned. That's the only way those in Edo Central will have, I think, a sense of belonging and will continue to make their contributions to the development and to the advancement of Edo State. For the PDP, where we have seen a lot of defections, we hope the party can put its acts together and stem the ugly tide of defections, which can be counterproductive in the 2024 election. Like our analysts have deposed to in the last couple of minutes, Edo State has a history of not always going with the center. And many a times, when they think that there is imposition, they want to give the other side. They want to give it the other side. They want to do it the other way. I mean, you look at what just happened a few days ago at the Big Brother Naija All-Stars edition. Many people who voted for the eventual winners, talking about Ilebai, was partly because they felt that the young lady was being intimidated, harassed, and bullied in the house. And that's really made them all to come out and vote for this particular lady. The big names were there, and at some point in time, they were all evicted from the house. I mean, history has a way of repeating itself. But the most important thing is that we should learn to learn from history. Thank you for staying with us on the program. Have a great weekend, and bye for now.